Good afternoon everyone, or good morning depending on where you are in Australia or around the world. My name's Mark. I own and run the Pebble Penny along with my wife Catherine. We're a small coin and banknote shop in the northern suburbs of Adelaide. We have an actual bricks and mortar shop. You can come in and have a look around. We've got cabinets full of stuff. We also have a website, thepebblepenny.com, which you can see online. We've been here for almost 5 years and been doing these videos for the last 3 or 4 years. We try to do them every Monday at lunchtime, Adelaide time. So, what a big week it's been. We had a huge week in the shop. A gentleman came in first thing on Wednesday morning with a little container full of gold coins, a whole bunch of US gold coins, which was a nice way of starting off the week. And we bought and sold a fair bit of other things. So I guess once the Royal Australian Mint release is settled down, I will try and share some of those things with you. And of course, we have a mint release coming up this Thursday, and the phone has not stopped ringing. I must have had 20 phone calls this morning already about it. So I would invite, I mean, this isn't the topic of the day, but I would invite anyone who's just unclear about how the mint release process works to pop your question in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer it for you. And sort of in the spirit of openness, I thought that I would share some actual numbers, the numbers that I'm allowed to share anyway, about Royal Australian Mint releases and where it sits here in relation to the other things that we do in this shop. Now, you would probably know that there's a $2 folder coming out on Thursday. It's $235. I believe there's 14 coins in it. There's also another coin being released that day, but I bet you almost no one knows what that coin is. And we are a Royal Australian Mint distributor. We're one of many. And we're just a small Royal Australian Mint distributor, and the Royal Australian Mint products here in the shop are less than 9% of what we do here in the shop. So just to put it into perspective, we spend more than 8 times as much over the counter buying people's collections than what we do from the mint. So it is just a very small part of what we do, but in terms of time taken up, it takes up a lot of our time, certainly more than 9% of our time. And I would just encourage people to think about that, and I would just encourage people to think that it is just me and Catherine here. There is just the two of us. We don't have a call centre, and we don't have a shipping department. We don't have a marketing budget. It is just me and her. And when you are talking to us, just remind yourselves that it is just me and Catherine. So the reason I bring that up is that I had a troubling comment from someone who has health problems and can't get into shops and so on and so forth. And I do sympathise with that person. I do sympathise with them a great deal, and I understand the problem that they're having. But it is just a small part of what we do. There is just the two of us, and unfortunately that person, when they made their comment, doesn't understand that we've had, I won't say thousands, but certainly at least 1,000 people ask us about this new set already. So there's no list. There's no putting your name down and if there's one available, or can you put one down for me or whatever, because there's already 1,000 other people in front of that person, and everyone has their own story and their own reasons for wanting things. And at the end of the day, we can't keep everyone happy. We wish we could, but we can't. So, if you do have any questions, I'm quite happy to be open with people. I can't tell you how many we get. I'm not allowed. I can't tell you the actual financial details. I'm not allowed, but I will try to be as open as I can with everyone. So if you've got any questions, please pop them in the comments. Right, so jump into the news. December RAM release on Thursday. Here's the details. Sorry, there's no prices on this yet because we still haven't had sort of an official release from anyone about the prices and things like that. But that's what's being released. We don't have any stock of the coins yet. They're still in the eastern states according to the tracking. I don't know if we're going to have them by Thursday. We're doing our level best to make some of them available over the counter. Do follow our Facebook page because that's where all the information will be. And if we do have some available over the counter, we'll do our usual ticket system where we give everyone that's out the front a ticket, and no ticket, no folder, and you'll need to bring the ticket in by the end of the day. That's what we hope is going to happen, but we're not sure yet. Right, next item in the news was a young gentleman in Cyprus who was fined €500 for driving uninsured and unlicensed. And he showed up at the courthouse with a suitcase full of 1 cent, 5 cent and 10 cent euro coins, more than 50 kilos of them, to pay the fine. And the magistrate in the court looked at the coins and said, no, I'm not accepting those. You need to go away and get some notes and pay your fine in notes. And I don't know what the law is in Cyprus, but certainly here in Australia there is a maximum value of coins that are acceptable, and a retailer or court or whoever does not have to accept more than that. And in reality, if COVID has taught us something, retailers don't have to accept cash at all if they don't want to. They can demand payment via FPOS or whatever. And I did notice that there were some stories in the weekend papers about that, about not having to accept cash. And there is a misconception that if a business doesn't accept cash, then they have to make a fee-free way available of accepting payment, and that isn't true either. The business is within their rights to pass on surcharges that the bank charges them when you pay with FPOS. So there are definitely restrictions on what you can pay and how you can pay, and it is up to, certainly in Australia here at least, for the retailers to decide how they want to get paid. Right, the next item was some coin fines in Germany. The German Cultural Ministry makes use of volunteers to excavate sites for them, and there were 3 big fines across Germany in the last few months. I'm only talking about 2 of them because the first fine had no coins. The second fine was on the island of Rügen, 6,000 coins, and they're calling it the largest Slavic 11th century coin find ever found. 90% of the coins were German, but the balance were English, Danish, Bohemian and Hungarian, which just shows you that international trade was a thing even 1,000 years ago. And what was interesting about it is how far away some of those coins had come from. The second find was in the northern town of Köln, and there were 1,700 coins. And what was interesting about that was that a lot of the coins were found in what's called, and this is a word that I haven't heard of before, a kaptorga, which is a case for ornaments or valuables. Sometimes it's silver, sometimes it's base metal. There's an example of a kaptorga on the top left there. But the kaptorga that these coins were found in was in the shape of a cross, which suggests that perhaps it was a donation to a church or something like that. So really interesting finds there in Germany. Next item was a coin find in Pakistan. Now we don't see too much popping up in the news about coin finds in India and Pakistan and places like that. But this was a find in the southeast of Pakistan in a huge area of ruins that dates back about 2,600 years, and it was a Buddhist shrine, and they've dated this at some time between 200 BC and 300 AD from the Kushan Empire, which dominated that area in that period. And interestingly, the Kushan Empire was overthrown by someone you've probably heard of, Alexander the Great, who went through that area and conquered everyone through that area. It was about 1,500 coins in a 5.5 kilo fused lump. They think they were probably in a ceramic pot which was broken, and the Pakistan Cultural Ministry is hoping to be able to break the lump up and conserve the coins because they're the first coins found on the site since 1930, and coins are a great way of dating finds and understanding the cultural motivations behind an archaeological site. So that's a really interesting find there in Pakistan. Bob Catter was in the news again. You might remember about 2 months ago that he was in the news trying to grab some of the limelight when the Charles portrait was announced. So he's held a he's released a press release in the last few days and had some press conferences, again coming back and saying that the monarch should be removed from Australian coins and suggesting that Australian heroes should be placed there instead. You might remember a couple of months ago he suggested a prominent Queensland public servant should be on our coins, and I suggested that probably wasn't a great idea. But he's come up with a couple of other people now. We've got Tubba Tray, who is a Indigenous warrior who held out against the English for about 20 years in Queensland, or a Queensland soldier, Ralph Honour, who fought on the Kokoda track. And Bob Catter, I have no idea about his politics, but to me it seems like a bit of a unusual character, said that he has never sworn allegiance to the British monarch and never would, even in all his time as a Member of Parliament. But apparently the House of Representatives has confirmed that Bob Catter was sworn into Parliament using appropriate procedures, which suggests that he probably did swear allegiance to the British monarch but didn't realise he was doing it. Now whether that's true or not I don't know, but interesting bit of news anyway. Last item for today is CBS is a news network in America. They've continued to talk about gold and silver via their channels there, and they had some quite good tips there about buying gold and silver. So if you are thinking about buying gold and silver, there's some tips there that they popped up on their website last week. Consider dealer reputation, so don't buy gold and silver from unknown people on eBay or unknown people on Facebook Marketplace or Gumtree or in the pub. To consider buying it from a known gold and silver dealer such as ABC Bullion or Adelaide Exchange Jewellers here in the city, or a known coin dealer. Consider the purity. 999 gold and silver is always more widely accepted than sterling silver or 22 carat. Think about the weight. You should be paying more premium for smaller weights and a smaller premium for higher weights. Consider buying well-known gold and silver, so don't buy unmarked lumps of gold and silver or obscure brands, and always try to minimise the premium that you pay, the premium being the difference between what you pay and what the actual gold and silver price is. Now interestingly, over the weekend gold hit an all-time high in Australian dollar terms of over $3,200 an ounce. It's back down to 31.35 or something this morning, so gold and silver is still doing well, and that's despite the fact that the Australian dollar has risen in value as well. Right, so let's just have a look at some comments here before we move on to the topic of the day. Susan says that she did a $200 noodle and got nothing. I took them to the pokies and they would only exchange $50. Robert says, so some cheap medieval coins coming up. Robert, I'm not sure what museums in Europe do with coins that they find. I know in the UK sometimes they do sell them off, but I'm not sure whether those finds will ever appear on the market. Michael says that he found a mule for a $5 noodle. That just sounds like you looked through your change, Michael, and there was a mule in your change. Hello, John, and it was a pleasure to see you a couple of weeks ago in the shop, John. I look forward to seeing you again. Hello, Matt. Matt says there's a photo of a King Charles $1 coin found in the wild today. Do you believe it? I haven't seen that picture, but sure, why not? They were supposed to be released in December, and as of 4 days ago, it was December, so someone's got to find them at some point, I guess. So someone has to be the first person. I'd need to see the picture, though, to know whether it was a real one or Antonius says, are you going to get the 2024 $1 koala one? So Antonius, we don't, I'm assuming that's a Royal Australian Mint product, an investment product. So one of the things people don't understand about being a RAM authorised dealer like us is that we don't get access to the investment products, and they're usually released on a Monday. We don't get access to those. We get no discount on those. We get to ring up and buy them at the same price as everyone else. So sometimes we'll get them in because we do have some people in here who perhaps aren't interested in dealing directly with the mint or aren't good with buying things online. Sometimes we'll buy them in just so that those people can get them, but we do not get an allocation of them and we don't chase after them. So those releases that come out on Monday, which I believe is today, we generally don't have those. Peter says that Perth Mint is 4 nines, silver and gold, and RAM is 3 nines. So 4 nines means 99.99% pure, and 3 nines means 99.9% pure. So some people think that that extra 9 there makes a difference. Hello Dee, hello Aaron, and hello Muriel. So I will just, before we jump into the topic of the day, the reason I came up with this topic today is because we did have sort of a quite upsetting comment, and it didn't upset me, it upset me that someone has to go through the troubles that they're going through to try and get hold of new release products. So I thought that in the week that probably the biggest Royal Australian Mint release of the year happens, that we could have a quick look at things that people collect, they could collect that aren't the newest Royal Australian Mint releases. So what are some things that people collect? And I will again just encourage people, if you do have any questions about how the Royal Australian Mint release process works and you're not sure, feel free to pop them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer those for you with full and open disclosure. As I said earlier, the Royal Australian Mint is a small part of what we do. It's less than 10% of what we do, and we spend somewhere between 8 and 9 times as much over the counter buying collections as what we do with the Royal Australian Mint. So it really is a small part of what we do. Now let's have a look at things to collect other than new Royal Australian Mint products. So the first one there is ancient coins. I did talk about ancient coins last week and gave you some tips on how to get started with ancient coins, and we were really lucky this week for a collection to come in with about 15 3rd and 4th century Roman follies I think is the plural of follis in there. Now they're all coins that are worth, perhaps $20 to $50 each, and Jared who's on his trip now, happy holidays Jared, Jared and I really did have an enjoyable time last week when we had time, just identifying them one at a time, because none of them were identified, and there's anywhere from sort of 5 to half an hour's work identifying each one, and it really was an enjoyable process to go to identify those. Matt says the follis are the smaller ones. Just hang on a second, Matt. Oh no, I've moved them. Where have I moved them to? No, I've moved them. I was going to grab one and show it to you, but I've moved them and I'm not sure where I've moved them to. So ancient coins doesn't have to be expensive. So for example, the $2 folder that's being released for $235, for $235 you can get 2 very nice Roman denarii. So they are 1800 to 2000 year old silver coins, about the same weight as a 5-cent piece, about the same size as a 5-cent piece, and they are true pieces of history that you can hold in your hand and think, I'm holding something that's almost 2,000 years old. And you won't get that from a $2 folder. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't collect $2 folders. I'm just saying that, if you've given up trying to collect $2 folders or whatever it is because they're too hard to get, ancient coins are a good alternative to that. So I'm not biased against mint product. Collecting mint and proof sets is quite a nice way of collecting because it is an achievable set. because there is only sort of one or two every year. It only goes back in Australia at least until 1966. And most coin dealers around Australia do have a stock of mint and proof sets. So, you know, how would you go about doing this? Well, I'd create a list of all the mint and proof sets and then decide what quality you're after, have a hunt around, work out what sort of prices they sell for, and just start at the bottom of the list and work your way up. It is an impressive collection when it's complete. And apart from perhaps the earlier ones from 1966 to 1971, and then a period from 2012 to 2016, they are all mostly under $100. Mostly under $100, less than most $2 mint marks, and a lot of them are under $50. So it is an affordable and achievable set. And you can focus on quality, so you might focus on quality of the packaging, you know, what sort of condition that's in. Make sure you look at the coins themselves, that there's no toning or spots or anything like that. Make sure there's none of them that are rotated in the holders. And it is quite a good collection to try and get. You could focus on other denominations. Why do you have to collect $2 coins? There are a lot of dollar coins that have much lower mintages than their $2 counterparts that are worth less than $20. So, you know, perhaps move on to another denomination if you're getting tired of the denominations that are too hard to find. I'll just have a look at some comments here quickly before we go on. Peter collects Perth Mint Sovereigns and he finally finished the set last week. Well, congratulations, Peter. I don't know that I've ever finished a set of anything, so congratulations on finishing a set, mate. Matt says he's starting to get into ancients. There's great stories to them. Antonius, I meant the $5 1 ounce fine silver high relief koala. I believe we are getting a very small number, Antonius. A very small number. Like extremely small. We don't know when they're going to be here. Mike collects pre-decimal. Alison says tokens and medallions. Alison, that's a great area of collecting. There is almost infinite variety with tokens and medallions, and you don't have to spend a lot on them. We have a $1 tray out the front here that has a lot of tokens and medallions in it, and you can pick through there and have a lot of fun for $1 an item. Royal Australian Mint's post states that investment coins are struck exclusively, what are you doing to me, Facebook, for Emporium Hamburg. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. JJ says life is not perfect or fair for that matter. At the end of the day, this is a hobby. There is so much more to live for on this planet. And, you know, that's right, JJ. They are just coins. It's not the end of the world if you don't get the new ones, because there's always other ones to get. And Nelson says he's collecting ancient Greek coins. And he just collected the coin that is the origin of the Renix logo, which is the owl, I think. Matt says he's got an 80 BC denarius publicus with Hercules strangling a lion. It was $170. Ray says him and his wife have an eclectic collection. We collect what we enjoy, and that's the most important thing, is to just collect what you enjoy. Right, just jump back over to other things you collect. World coins. There's almost an infinite variety of world coins that you can collect. You could collect continentally, you could collect nationally, you could collect one from every country. You can collect obsolete coins, coins from countries that don't exist anymore. There's almost an infinite number of things that you collect. Most coin dealers have bulk world coins available for sale, and you know, there's a lot of cheap fun to be had there. Of course, if you follow the Purple Penny, you'd know that we deal in error coins. You could collect error coins. Thematic coins. Now, what does that mean? Perhaps coins from World War II, perhaps coins from World War One, perhaps coins that have sporting themes on them, coins that have pictures of birds, coins that have pictures of boats. We have one gentleman that comes in here who was born in 1959. He only collects coins that are dated 1959. There's almost infinite variation in terms of themes that you can collect, and you really can scratch that itch of wanting to buy something if you focus on themes, because there's always something available. And I feel like for a lot of collectors, that idea of getting something new is really what gives them the rush. So if you are into, you know, that little bit of a rush and you want to spend a few bucks on the weekend, jump onto eBay and look for a coin that fits into the theme that you're interested in, and buy away. And then the last one here, and I do always suggest this is a good idea, and this is really targeted at those people that say, oh, this is an investment. Coins are not an investment, they are a hobby, they are interesting, and the real problem with buying things that are linked, the price is hugely driven by demand, and at the moment a lot of mint product, the price is largely driven by demand, is that if that demand disappears, then the value plummets because there's no real intrinsic value to them. So if you were to collect gold and get cheap gold coins, cheap I mean low premium gold coins, then you've always got the gold value to fall back onto, and the value of your collection is driven by the gold value. And longer term, gold has performed at 4 or 5% per year for a long time, and maybe your coin collection isn't going to triple or quadruple in value, but perhaps it will hold its value. So you don't have to spend a lot on a gold coin. You can get a 1915 ducat for about $300. There are small Mexican coins, 1 pesos, that have got less than $150 worth of gold in them. You can get the little half-gram jiggers from the Royal Australian Mint, which can often be had for under $100. So, and you know, the great thing about only collecting gold coins is it doesn't take up much space unless you've got lots of money. So there are some options there. Now, just have a look at a few more comments here before we finish up. Damien says he collects coins from the countries he's visited. Great souvenirs, but only worth face value. And yeah, they are worth face value in the countries they come from. But of course, once they get back here to Australia, unless you're going back over there, they're not worth anything because you can't exchange coins. Riley says he always keeps an eye out for tokens, for coins with coins on them. Now, Riley, Catherine collects coins with coins on them as well, medals with coins on them. So that's a really interesting area of collecting. There's not that many of them around. You'd be surprised at how few there are. Wendy says, great article by Mark and Catherine on errors in the latest ACR. Yeah, thank you, Wendy. We did have a couple of articles in the yearbook. Ash says, silver crown size pre-1971 for me. So crown size is about 27 grams, and silver, usually they've got somewhere between about 85 and 95% worth of silver in silver crown size coins. Great way of collecting, huge range of coins available. Some of them can be terribly expensive, but then some of them can be just $40. So that's a great way of collecting as well, Ash. And Patrick says, I enjoy looking at coins from all over the world and using the books to find out what and where they are from, not into specific ones. My collection probably isn't worth heaps, but it's fun to research. And look, I will encourage people to think about their coin collection as not being a source of value. It is a source of interest and a source of enjoyment. And if, you know, when you cease to enjoy it and it comes time to get rid of it, and it still has some value, well, that's fantastic, because there are actually very few hobbies where you can spend a lot of money on the hobby, and when you're done with the hobby, often what you've spent is gone forever. At least with coins, often there is some residual value there. Just remember the fun you've had when it comes time to move your coins on, and that fun is really priceless, can't be quantified in dollar terms. Michael says, I've got 2 1980 to 1994 $200 proof coin sets. He needs a 1986 to complete his third. Morbid, but want one for each of my younger siblings eventually when I die. Look, it's not morbid, Michael. There's lots of people who are collecting things to pass on. And again, you know, at least those $200 coins are pegged to the gold value and probably hold more sentimental value to you than just handing on cash to your descendants. So yeah, congratulations on doing that. Right, that's it. Good luck with Thursday if you are chasing after those things. I do hope that you manage to get one. I'll just share something with you. The Queen commemorative coins that came out a couple of weeks ago, The prices on those are still very high, and I'll just tell you now that there are going to be more available at release price. The Royal Australian Mint has released more to their wholesale network, and they will all become available this week and next week through the wholesale network. Hopefully the dealers pass them on at release price. We'll certainly have them in here in the shop when they get here to sell at release price. We sold the last of our safety stock. We usually keep safety stock from new releases just in case there's damaged material. We sold the last of that last week at release price. So there will be more around, so please don't overpay for that sort of stuff. And just remember, the people on Facebook that are selling multiples of these new releases, they don't pay GST, they don't pay tax, and I don't feel like they have the collector community at heart. I know Catherine and I, we're in this to make a profit. We don't want to lose money doing this. But you would be surprised how little we make from a $15 coin from the mint versus people who don't pay tax and GST selling them on Facebook for $100 or $150 each. So don't feed them, don't buy off of them. And there will be more available at release price this week. I know Downey's posted some up today. They must have theirs already. So feel free to spread that news around on Facebook and pull the rug out from those people that are reselling these things for such a huge profit. All right, that's it for this week. Thank you everyone for watching and taking part. And just remember that the coin release is just a hobby. Don't get upset. And have fun. That's the most important thing. Thank you everyone for watching. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.